bathroom reset complete. Now for the part that I have really been the most excited for. That is our little session where I'm gonna invite you all into my brain. And along the way, I'd love to just circle back to some of the moments that really caught my attention during the reset and dream up ideas together. So let's do it. Just a little bit of context about me that I think would be helpful is I live in New York City. I am a proud NYC renter. I live with my husband and our toddler. And we also have roommates. My husband and I are also part of an arts ministry here in the city. And our home is the hub, basically, for the ministry. So we're hosting at least 2 to 3 times, if not more, a week. There's a lot happening all the time. Why do I share all of that? Because our home ends up caring for a lot of people besides just our family. And I love that because that's how I grew up. And I also see that as a rarity in New York City. So it's something I really wanted to cultivate here. And I think it really just shows people the heart of God. So that's where I'm coming from. When it comes to changing a space, the number one thing that I want to do is step back and just consider how I actually went to experience the space and what sort of needs need to be met here. And the second thing that I have to face as an NYC renter and not a homeowner is the things that I'm going to be working around. Like there are certain things in the bathroom that, in my opinion, just aren't worth dramatically changing because this isn't my long-term home. For me, immediately looking at the space, it's just all of the finishes, like the vanity, the tile throughout, both the gray tile on the floor and the wall, and then also this white wall of tile as well. So these are things that I'm not really gonna like fight. I'm gonna lean into them, and they're kind of the inspiration, the creative constraint that is going to ultimately bring this room together. So we're going to just get on what I lovingly call the Gray Renters Special Express train. And we're just going to ride it and we're going to enjoy the ride. The main things in this space that I would say bother me are, number one, it just feels really cold. And I say that because of the colors. We got grays, we got whites, we got blacks. I did add some warm light bulbs, which is kind of helping, but not really. And it just isn't really inviting me in to want to spend time here. And that's something that's really important to me. So that's number one. Number two, I see a lot of objects. Now it is a lot better after the reset, but I think we can do even more when it comes to giving the items in this room a home. This room serves a lot of purposes. It is my self-care retreat space. It is where we bathe our toddler and store her bath things. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it is the bathroom most often used when we gather people in our home. And just having lived in this space, it can be chaotic at times. So I want storage that reflects that and just gets rid of this visual clutter once and for all. So now I'm gonna just strip down the bathroom to its bare bones. So this is just that base that I talked about of the objects that are staying in the room. The first thing we talked about was how cold it feels. I want to warm it up. I found on Etsy these light covers. You can kind of just put them over your vanity lights that are already there. And it adds this like warm filter and a really beautiful touch. And next, I just want everything in this room to make friends with each other and to connect and to bring you into this hug. I think this space is in desperate need of a visual hug. So I want to create that through how we decorate. Okay, so how am I going to do that? Number one, I want to bring everything in. So the first thing that I thought about was adding a darker ceiling color to draw from the darker moments in the gray tile and also the darker grout lines in the white tile. It's just bringing the ceiling down into the conversation with the rest of the things in this space. So that's one. The other thing I want to do is bring in softness. While we're talking about paint, I really want to show some subtle love to the window trim area over here and also the door by painting it this muted grayish blue color to not only bring softness, but just help it to fold more into the natural flow of the space. And Next, speaking of softness, I want to do like a floor to ceiling, deeply warm, very textured shower curtain. And let's complete it with a rug. We have our base. And now that this base is feeling the way that I want it to feel, let's talk about making it work the way that I need it to work. So I want to add some substantial closed storage. And because the room is already really long and narrow, I don't want to add to that feeling by stacking more things on the wall, even cabinets in storage. What I was thinking instead is to add this low profile, long walnut cabinet, something like this, that adds a grounding and a balance without weighing down the room. And it also brings in these really lovely warm tones, and I feel like I just want to stay here. And the next part is just really fun. I am gonna make the space feel lived in, and the way that I personally do that is I want to actually be intentional. I want to choose objects that I find to be beautiful that also meet a need. So first go-to is a lamp. It brings a sense of hominess and another warm glow to this room. Just a little bit of greenery, some life, a vintage ring dish. I always forget to take off my jewelry when I'm about to shower, and I just need to get this. It's very easy. And then also a book, you know, for those longer bathroom stays for whatever reason. I also have a stool in the bathroom that I actually use as like a little side table when I'm doing my self-care moments. So I'm going to make that corner just a little bit cozier. Let's keep the stool, add a little candle to it. Again, more warmth over here. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is this tile. This white tile specifically. So I actually don't hate it. I think it looks very clean and bathroomy, but I actually want to give it a job so that it's not just stealing the entire show. And I think the job I want to give it is I want it to host a gallery wall of art pieces, a mix of art I've collected. And these are just kind of an idea of pieces that I find really interesting for a bathroom. And I also just like the idea that the tile is now becoming a backdrop for something really beautiful. Super cool. Let's begin adding some homemade touches. This is a little art piece that I inherited from my grandma. There's a funny story behind it. My granddad bought it for her, and it's been in her bathroom my entire life. But basically, it's two girls. They say can and cannot. And my granddad's joke was, you know, it's because sometimes you can and sometimes you cannot. And that really tickled me. I love stuff like that. So if you know, you know. If you get it, you get it. And if you don't, then amen. And then just those functional pieces that just go into a bathroom, you know. So let's just go ahead and pop those in there. Again, just being intentional. Do. And now I'm going to go over to the toilet zone area. And I'm going to give this zone something to contribute, but more so just echoing like what's happening across the room. Maybe a sconce, a piece of art. Beautiful. So now when I zoom back out, yes, I'm looking at a decorated space, but I am really just looking at a space that feels loved and softer, warmer, more connected, and more supportive of the life that's happening in this bathroom. Man, that makes me feel some type of way. It's not perfect, but it is just a little better at caring for the people who are going to be using it. And that's what it's all about. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you've tuned in this far, it's been really fun to create sort of this map of how I'm thinking so that, you know, one day when I actually tackle redecorating this bathroom, I already have a really great base of what I actually need before I go through any Facebook Marketplace deep dives or Pinterest deep dives. And I will see you guys in the next video, hopefully very soon. Until then, I hope that you enjoy your homes and the people that you are spending time with in your homes. And okay, bye.